There's a moment in every Malinois journey where you feel like you've tried everything. The treats. The leash pops. The engagement drills. The obedience routines. You repeat the same commands again and again. And your dog just looks away. Or worse, locks onto something else. And you ask yourself, why won't this dog obey me? I was there. Completely burned out. I was consistent. I was patient. I was doing everything right. And still, my Malinois didn't truly listen. He would perform when it suited him, but the bond? The trust? The instinct to follow? It wasn't there. Until one day, everything shifted. And no, it wasn't a new training tool. It wasn't a YouTube hack. It was something I didn't expect. Something that changed everything. In this video, I'm going to tell you the one thing that finally made my Malinois obey, and why most owners never figure it out. And by the end of this story, I promise, you'll start to see your dog differently. But before we dive in, hit subscribe to The Pet Perspective, because this channel is about more than training. It's about transformation. For you and your dog. Let me take you back to what things looked like before the breakthrough. My dog was wired. Always scanning. Always pulling. Always reacting. He knew commands, but only on his terms. I could get a down, sure, but only when distractions were low. A recall? Only if nothing else was moving. I wasn't being ignored. I was being prioritized last. That's when I realized something devastating. My dog didn't see me as the center of his world. I was a part of his environment, not the anchor. And that's when I asked myself the question that changed everything. Why should he obey me? Not because I said so. Not because I had food. But why me? That question wrecked me. Because the answer was, I hadn't earned it. See, Malinois don't follow out of habit. They follow out of conviction. They don't just want direction, they want to believe in the one giving it. And that brings us to the one thing that finally made my Malinois obey: emotional leadership. Not dominance. Not louder commands. Not tighter leashes. But a shift in my energy, from reactive trainer to grounded, calm, unshakable leader. I stopped trying to control his behavior. I started controlling mine. Still watching? Drop a comment right now that says, "It starts with me." That one sentence changed how I approached everything. From that day forward, I changed 5 things. First, I slowed everything down. My movement. My tone. My sessions. I stopped rushing reps. I started giving space between commands. That stillness built clarity. Second, I stopped overcorrecting. I realized I was interrupting behaviors I didn't like, but not replacing them with clear alternatives. So he didn't know what to do, he only knew what not to do. That's confusion, not obedience. Third, I added daily calm rituals. 10 minutes of place with no commands. Just us, existing. That neutral presence rebuilt the relationship faster than any obedience drill ever had. Fourth, I tightened up my routine. I became someone he could predict. Someone who rewarded focus, redirected chaos, and led with the same tone every single time. And finally, I stopped needing to be obeyed. I stopped chasing control. And that's when I got it. Because here's the truth, a Malinois doesn't follow a command. They follow a feeling. They're not just driven, they're emotionally tuned in. And when I stopped leaking anxiety, frustration, and self-doubt, he started choosing me over everything else. That's when I knew we had turned a corner. Not because he sat faster, but because he started watching me. Every step, every pause, every breath. We weren't just working. We were in sync. If you've ever felt like your dog only listens when the stars align, or that they're drifting further away with every session, please hear this, it's not too late. But obedience isn't built from drills alone. It's built from who you are in every moment. So if you're stuck, try this. Stop correcting for a week. Start redirecting calmly. Drop the leash cues. Focus on eye contact. Sit in silence next to your dog for 5 minutes a day. And ask yourself, not what do I want him to do, but who do I want to be to him? That shift? That's the one thing that made my Malinois obey. It didn't come from control. It came from presence. It came from energy he could trust. And now, I don't train for compliance. I lead for connection. If this video gave you a new perspective, hit like. And drop a comment that says, "I'm ready to lead." Because your dog isn't looking for perfection. They're looking for someone to follow. Subscribe to The Pet Perspective if you're ready to become that someone.